boom, boom. Hey, dip, dip. What's going on, everyone? TGIF, what's happening? What's going on, and how are you? Hope you're doing well this Friday. Hope you're getting ready for your weekend to begin. And much colder than last week and darker too. Yeah, once we fell back with them clocks, it's like, hey, what happened? Where'd the sun go? It just disappeared on us. But we're here, we're moving forward, and that's where we are, and that's what we got to deal with. We do this every year. They're trying to have it where daylight savings time is gone away with, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen, especially if they make too much money from it. So you can forget it. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what's happening. I want to welcome everybody. I got streaming on the other channel because I figure, well, you might as well know that I'm over here and been doing my thing pretty much every Friday, except maybe a few Fridays. But normally, we were here every Friday for 3 years straight. Just a few Fridays we took off, so you can't beat that. You know, pretty consistent. And I love the time slot. Love the people that came to support and here to support. Oh, yes, I do. I really do. Well, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about being a young woman, remembering how it was, and to see if what our experiences are differs, which it does, from what others say, typically men. And I got a couple of, you know, men talking about it, so I'm definitely going to show that. Got a couple of songs that says, kind of back up what the ladies say. So it's going to be very interesting. And then at the end, after we go through some of that, we'll play Princella's. We're going to play her video with the gentleman that says that, it's not the majority, it's the minority. What are you talking about? You women don't know what you're talking about, even though you're in your own body and you deal with what you deal with. But let's see where it goes. I'm curious. I'm sure you are. But since we're talking about clapping cheeks, because that's pretty much what the show gonna be about, let's go ahead and play that beat. Yeah, let's drop the beat. Yeah, let's drop the beat. All right, and give you a little visual too. We know the truth of what you really want to do. All this live stream talking, not telling truth. Quoting stats like those numbers make it a fact. Those women never would have picked you even where you're at. Winter's here and it's here for you indefinitely. You turn your back on your own damn community. We see your comments in the chat and it's hate speech. You mad at women cause they didn't choose you in their sheets. Name your doctor, writing your script cause the dosage off. Flipping the script, women winning, talking about they lost. Been 4 years you've been hanging in these YouTube streets. Congratulations, you just earned your bachelor's degree. You wanna clap them cheeks? 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 Those red pills never done nothing for you. I hear Red Bull is on sale, won't you pick up too? Speaking of which, your godfather is dead and gone. No more new quotes for you to carry on. Flip the channel, keep on searching, and don't be sad. Never cry about something that you never had. Been 4 years, you've been hanging in these YouTube streets. Congratulations, you just earned your bachelor's degree. You wanna clap them cheeks? 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 Shout out to my producer, Rep Scotty. Shout out to Ty City. Keep grinding. All right. Welcome back. And everyone, let's greet the wonderful, the lovely, the beautiful, classic Ruby.
How?
Oh,
I
okay.
know. That's hello, but it's hello in like I don't even know what language that is. It's like from I think it's from was it Pocahontas or something? I don't know. But I remember like the chief person or someone from the tribe or something said how to say hello, right? Like aloha, but like a different tribe. I don't know. What's that? How you doing? I was trying to be like all ethnic-y, and I probably just totally butchered it. It's fine. Everything's great. So how you doing today? Sure. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm doing well.
Oh, that's good. Well, at least there's that, right? I mean, sure. I might have already put my foot in my mouth. It's been 10 seconds of streaming. I'm doing fabulously for that, by the way, in the month of November. Like, I pretty much, I'm like like on the top 10 list of hated folk right now in this space. I think it's amazing, Shar, because I feel like I don't really say much. Like, I
It
just,
doesn't matter. You can't have an opinion that's opposite of someone else's. Don't you know by now? You have to go with the flow.
right? That's the truth. It was amazing after all this discussion yesterday on this guy's show, right? He invited me to the show, by the way. Then he goes, I was really excited to have, a really proud, outspoken feminist. So thanks so much, Ruby, for being on the show. I'm like, what? Me?
And that's
And like,
because you know why that is. That is because someone that likes you that you don't care for much, even though you respect them, they can feel deep in their bones they don't have a chance in hell to get
mm,
anything past hello. So they go and spread rumors and say different things about you in different other channels, and then the word spread, and that's what has happened.
that honestly seems pretty accurate because I'm like, what are you talking? Even there was another guy that was on the panel at the time, and he's like, Ruby's not a feminist. Ruby might be a lot of things, but I would never peg her as a feminist. She's pretty much on the red pill side. Like everything she really thinks and feels mostly is red pill. Like, I mean, you might want to call Ruby lots of stuff, but feminist? Like, you look at the other, and then the guy who was hosting the show was like, really? Well, why are you so hated in this space? And why are all these people? I'm like, it's not all these people. It's one person, and you're just new to experiencing me. But you're not new to that person or his channel. So you've heard everything that he's done in the last week is not the same thing. And we had this whole discussion, and like we got like an hour in, and he went, "Wow, really?" So like it's like I don't understand why people think like why do they disagree with you? I haven't heard you say anything wrong. Yeah, it's because they like to hate me. Like they like that. They like to take whatever I say and then twist it into something else. And then I obviously meant it in a way that I'm a feminist and I hate black men or whatever, right? The sisterhood is way strong, something, right? And I'm like, okay, is that where we are now in this space? Because we didn't used to do this a few years ago. This is what we do now. Okay. Yay. So that's fun. So it's always nice to come over here where we don't need to do that. We can all just speak our piece, give our opinions, and everyone's fine. Just speaking and sometimes we disagree and that's also fine. It's good. We don't have to label each other or debunk each other. It's fine. I love it here, Shar. I love it.
Well,
I'm
you
not leaving.
Well, you are always welcome, and so isn't everyone else. Because, as I say before, everyone has an opinion, and it doesn't mean you have to fight about it. It's like, I agree. I don't disagree about that. Oh, I see your point on that. Not sure about that. That's not my experience. Oh, that has been my experience. Now let me go to work. Let me pay my mortgage. Let me eat my food and the other things that real people do.
Exactly.
That's how you do it. Plus, you don't
Right?
care. That's the other thing. You have to not care, you know.
I'm getting better at that. To be fair, I used to care very deeply. Like now I get frustrated or like annoyed in a moment if someone's interrupting me to tell me what my opinion is and they're very clearly wrong. So I don't like to be misunderstood. But like I
Yes, I
used to
understand.
care I was misunderstood. Like it used to hurt my feelings. Now not so much. Like it's just like, oh, I'm a feminist. Oh, I get it. Oh, I'm part of the sisterhood. So I have this bonnet hair dryer, like you know those ones that it's like you put kind of like a bonnet on, but it's like a hair dryer.
Yes.
Um, and so I was drying my locks yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm part of the sisterhood. So I took all these pictures of me, with my sisterhood super bonnet on. Because I'm like, yeah, well, if I'm gonna be on the sisterhood, I gotta go all the way, right? Super bonnet to the rescue. Yeah.
All right. Super Bonnet. Okay, where you at, Super Bonnet? Come back.
No, no. See, this is what happens. I touch things. Um,
That's okay.
that's what went wrong. I have to take it off because to get into the StreamYard without going directly onto the stream on my phone, I have to come in like I have to set it to desktop mode, which then makes it harder. Everything's smaller and you accidentally press stuff, and then when we move to the main part of the show, then I take it off of desktop mode so I don't make all these mistakes touching the stuff. So it goes better.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Sorry.
no worries. No worries. No worries. Well, we're ready to begin. It's all good. I've dropped a link in the chat room, so I don't have to think about it later. But
Beautiful.
this became popular. I think I saw this Monday, but I had already set up the show for
Mhm.
today anyway. I think I did that on Saturday because I was doing the editing.
Mm.
And like I said, I take requests. I see if I can make it into content because I'm not one to just point fingers and everything. I like to give examples and experience and things like that. So I found a fun way of describing what is considered not true when it comes to women.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
found a guy that says, what he says, and we're going to go down the line. So let's get started with this
All right.
popular feed that came about this week. All
Okay.
right. Let's see. It should be on here.
See, I had my first child when I was 17. Then I met another woman. I had my next one at 24. Then my third baby's mom, I met her when I was 28. And of course, I wasn't ready to settle down at those ages. I mean, I'm out here, I'm doing my thing, but they were. They was ready to settle down at those ages. And I'm sure a lot of you men out here have came across women in your life that were good women. Women that loved you unconditionally, women that held you down. Most men out here have had plenty of good women in their life. I've had women during that time and plenty of women after that time. And guess what? They were all good women, all ready to settle down. But I wasn't. But now we're gonna sit up here as men and we're gonna act like they is the problem. We're gonna act like women are the problem. They the ones that we want to demonize now. Wow, y'all funny. I'm seeing a lot of these pop up channels starting running behind Jughead, Gooseneck, talking about high value. These women didn't care what you had. They just wanted you. But we forgot about them. We look over them. You see, and now we want to start asking questions like, what do you bring to the table? Wow. You wasn't asking that when she was putting up that bail money to get you out of jail. Wasn't asking that.
All right. So I will stop it right there. I don't have that experience in as far as, helping someone out of jail, but I have had experience where different things happen and guess what? They needed some finances and I just happened to be one to be able to support that particular situation. So it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, what I found interesting with this man is stating that his ages, 17, 23, did he say, or 24? And then he had another age where he had started having children.
Mm.
And it happens. I mean, you're young. Normally, like I put in the title, 16 or so, hormone and, yeah. And stuff started, moving around. And,
Mm-hmm.
and the muscles, you start seeing a little muscle here, little muscles there. And they start, grooming themselves, looking good, smelling good. And you, as a young lady, you're doing your thing. Your hormones are going too. So you normally start dating around that time, as early
Mm-hmm.
as. And what do you do when you like somebody? You start off with the holding of hands and then touchy feely. And sometimes it gets a little further than touchy feely and get a little bump and grind and get on to, okay, let me just put the tip right there. Just let me try that girl. Let me just try that girl. It's gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then get a little further and further, and then you look up. I don't know what happened. I don't know. And these things happen, and they're normal, and there is nothing you can do about it. You can't stop it because this is the way it's going to go. Um, and then you can have children, whether it's the first time you try it or just doing it several times. You end up
Mm-hmm.
having a child. And what happens to the young lady that has that child? Well, she has to do the nursing and all the other things that a mom will do. And she's not able to go out on the weekends and all that because more than likely that grandparent, they're like, that's your child. You bond with your child. I don't, you go to work or school, I'll help you out. But other than that, you know, you are of age, you're going to have to take care of your child. And these are things that happen. And I'm sure that young lady would like some support from that guy. She still likes him at all, but she
Mm-hmm.
she needs a little help, you know? The sister needs a little help. So what happens at that time? The young man is this guy in this video, he states that he wasn't ready. And I can understand that. I can understand that. I'm not a man, but I can understand being a young person. You're not ready to settle down. Well, yeah, the baby cute and all that, and I'll do what I can, but that takes a lot, either side, to be able to nurture the child and kind of miss, if you want to say miss out, but you're not going to be able to run those streets like that if you invest in the nurturing of that child. Usually the mother is the one that does it. She doesn't get that break. And the guy, well, he has a different thing in mind sometimes. He may try, but a lot of times it just doesn't work out. So what happens? Either he goes on with someone else, and I'm wondering if this gentleman, if this happened to him, because he mentioned a second child in his early 20s, different woman, which means what? That first mom, it didn't work out. He's young, he's not ready to settle down. Who knows themselves at a young age like that? Who? Would you like to chime in?
Yeah, I had no empathy for either side of this.
Oh,
Because this is the way I see it. Unless you are so young that you are not even really quite sure how babies are made, but you're engaging in sex and sexuality because it feels good and da da da, and you're one of those neglected latchkey kids, and a boy who's maybe or a girl who's maybe a couple years older than you, so they know you could do this stuff and it feels good, but you don't really know what you're doing. And no one ever explained to you how babies were made, or they told you something about a stork, and then you didn't even know what's happening to you with pregnancy. Maybe you never even had a period yet. And those people I feel empathy for. Other than that, no empathy. And I'll explain why. My parents were teen parents. Now, of course, I'm not trying to say everyone has to be my parents, but what I'm saying is my parents were teen parents, and they come from a long line. And when I say them, I mean as in humanity, right? They were in a long line of teenagers who get pregnant and then have to figure it out really, really quickly. They don't get to have extended childhood. They don't get to have extended adolescence because they decided to make a bunch of grown ass decisions with their bodies and their lives. And now they have to follow through on those grown ass decisions. So the thing is I don't care if you're not ready for the potential consequences of an action, don't take that action. It's not super complicated to me personally, right? If you know, right, like I knew I was not ready. I do not want to be my mom. I do not want to be, graduation or whatever with my big old pregnant belly. I don't want to have these conversations with my daughter as she's growing up, telling her about all the things that she basically ruined for me because I was too stupid to keep my legs closed or at least stay on the pill or whatever the hell that you should have done instead of what you did. But again, if you've decided that you want to take that risk, I love him so much. I love her so much. Oh, it feels so much better when we're bareback. Oh, we don't need plan B. It's fine. Whatever your decision-making skills were at the time, the point is you did know that unprotected sex, you did know a condom breaking, you did know not being on a pill. You know all these things can lead to a baby. If you are old enough to take the action to have the sex and to risk that consequence and to blow off what you need to do to not get pregnant, to not get someone pregnant, then you have congratulations, you have earned yourself a baby in a lifetime of being second to your child now. I don't feel empathy for you because you had choices. You made choices. This was your consequence of your choice. And there's a lot of wonderful things, including a lot of joys, a lot of really good things that are going to come along with that. Are there a lot of negatives too? Absolutely. But either way, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel empathy for you. You don't deserve my empathy. You don't deserve anyone's empathy. What you deserve is a boot up your butt, right? And a lot of tough love. And the two people who created that baby need to be given they're here. Here's a rucksack with some essentials. Here's your baby. Y'all figure it out. We are not helping either of y'all. And neither one of y'all gets to detach yourself from that kid. That's how it really should be. Right? All of this, but he was young and he didn't know. And well, he thought she was on the pill. He thought she thought he had the condom. She thought he was pulling out. They thought they couldn't get pregnant. I'm tired of hearing all of that foolishness. Nah, y'all need to grow up. How do we regress in society where now that we have more access to more information than ever before, now all of a sudden 21-year-olds are younger and younger than they ever were? Come on. That's ridiculous.
All right. Lady V, how are you? Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Shar. Hey, Ruby. Hey,
Hey,
Mr.
hey.
Wade. Well, you know what? I do agree with you, Ruby. I mean, about the person getting pregnant and I don't know where this baby came from and it, we're just too old for that. I mean, even as teenagers, we know about contraceptive. But let's go into someone who's in their 20s. You know very well how to prevent pregnancy. So at the point of conception, both parties are equal. I don't want to hear, well, she could have chosen not to have it. I don't want to hear any of that crap. If you get her pregnant, then you're on the hook for that child, and that's just what it is. If she's going to keep the baby, she's on the hook because she's the one who has to carry it, get the stretch marks, the morning sickness, and push that baby out of her hoo-ha or get a cesarean and have her gut split in half to get that baby out. Either way it goes, there's going to be some sort of compromise or you got to put in on this. So the most that the man has to put in, for the most part is number one, financial. and if they don't agree with the child, a lot of times they don't even want to give the financial, they don't want to give any time. But as far as this, one person is more at fault than the other, if this is not a sexual assault or anything like that, both parties are equal when it comes to that. You can't, put the toothpaste back into the tube after it's already been squozen out. That just doesn't happen. So if the baby, you already shot your stuff out and given it, and it conceived a child, then that's just what it is. You're stuck with it. You move on. All this after, well, she could have did this, and we could have did the plan B, and we didn't have to. Well, nobody had to get pregnant. But if she didn't take any precautions, you didn't take any precautions, at that point, both parties are equal. And I'm with you, Ruby. I don't want to hear all the crap. I don't want to hear all the extra. Oh, well, I thought, no. Everybody wants to have the good feeling. Everybody want to get the gushy. Everybody want to get it in. Time for the responsibility. Oh, well, I thought, well, I don't even like you. Stop.
Right.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Like I said, if it's not any type of a sexual assault, both parties are responsible for that child. I don't want to hear after the fact this you could have did, X, Y, and Z. That's not the case. Don't let it happen. Don't get it started if you don't want to, continue with it.
Okay.
Right? Oh, God damn.
It's ridiculous.
So, especially because Vonda just touched on a big one for me, right? When people say stuff about how they don't even like that person much, or they didn't do that much. Bro, and this will not be like 10-year-olds saying it. Do you know what I mean? They're talking about 18 to 25-year-olds will say dumb things like that. And I'm just like, are you out of your ever-loving mind? Do you think that your like or dislike for somebody makes a damn difference? But I'm going to teach y'all something really fast, because maybe you don't know. Let's pretend that your feelings really, really matter deeply. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something, that in the grand scheme of things, love and hate are the exact same physical response from your body. True fact. That's why Max and Living Single, right? You've Max and the dude, and remember, they hated each other, but they also had like the greatest sex life ever, and they were super obsessed with each other and could not leave each other alone.
Kyle
But
Barker.
they hated each other. Kyle, yes, right? Now, so you look at that, you're like, well, why would these? Well, that's why, because whether you hate, that's why they say there's a thin line between love and hate. Your body actually responds to extreme feelings, love, hate, fear, even the exact same way. So it actually doesn't matter. If you hated that person or if you loved that person, your body's going to react the same way, unfortunately. So you're just as likely to get pregnant by someone you hate as someone you love, if you were going by emotions, which is still full, because of course you could be totally apathetic towards someone and still get pregnant by them, because your feelings don't matter. Your eggs and your sperms matter. Your inability to keep the tip out matters, right? But like the feelings themselves don't matter. And I know for sure, no matter how worthless sex ed class was, you know that much. Like, come on.
It feels good. Stop it. Welcome, Jack.
Girl.
All right, what is up, everybody?
Mr. Spade, what's up?
Hey, Mr.
Hey,
Spade.
how are you?
All right, I don't have the slightest idea what y'all talking about, but I gotta defend the G code. Red pill for life, and she should have chose better. There we go.
Turn his mic off,
There
Char.
you go.
Turn his mic off. Mute.
Right?
Hey, mute him.
Right?
What?
I feel that. And wait, I have to say, Craig Harper in the chat, do you still make those drunken cupcakes? I know that's not what they're called. But that's how I think of them, because they're cupcakes with alcohol. Like, that's just the most amazing thing. I've never heard of anything of like in the, like, what's it called? Tipsy tulips? Something like that? Oh my God. I've always wanted
infused alcohol cupcakes.
Yes, I always wanted to live in the States just for that. I remember I even asked him, I'm like, do you ship to Canada? He said no. I'm also allergic to eggs. But I mean, he said we could work with the eggs thing, but not the shipping to Canada at the moment. I was really jealous. But hey, what's up? Long time no see. Do you still make drunken cupcakes? That's what I want to know. Just like, can you imagine? You can eat cupcakes and get drunk at the same time just from one bite. Like, it's amazing. Sorry. I know. Total distraction. I apologize. Oh, he does.
He does. He does.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Y'all should check that out. That is awesome. I just like the idea of it. But see, the tip. Yes, the tip, right? Because people eat the cupcakes, right? Then they get a little tipsy. Then they say, yo, if I just put the tip in, it'll be fine. Because y'all never heard of pre-ejaculation? Pre-cum. It's a thing. For real. It contains sperm.
That's serious,
also.
Ruby. No, I've not met one person who's ever taken pre-cum, pre-ejaculation, whatever you want to call it. I've never seen anybody take it serious.
Right?
All kind of stuff can happen with that, but nobody takes it serious. So you're going to put a raw tip inside of a raw hole, and you don't think anything's going to happen from that tip in that pre-cum or that pre-ejaculation. Cut it out.
What
Cut
the
it
hell?
out.
What the hell is this? Dr. Ruth night?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Get out the diagram, Char. Let's show them the diagram and let's get the pointer out, and we're going to show you guys how it works.
Obviously, because someone missed something, right? We have way too many people walking around super shocked, it seems, right? That they are now single mothers and single fathers, and I didn't mean to get her pregnant. I didn't even know. Man, you 30-something. You still saying that dumb shit about what? You don't know? Really? Come on. It's ridiculous now. It is absolutely ridiculous. Let's be real.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to do a turn of events. And then I'm going to come back to the lyrics because I think that's the direction I'm going to go. Let me play the video and then we'll take a look at the lyrics because it kind of explains, it's going to explain some things that this gentleman is kind of denying a little bit. So,
okay.
All right, so let me pull this up and press the play. Here we go.
Trev, what we got, man? What we got? What we doing tonight?
Okay, what would you like? Do you want to get right into it? Do you want me to say a little?
No, I want you. No, I want you to introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are. Give them a little bit of background and what you wanted to come on the platform. What reason you wanted to be here? Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm known as Trev Smooth, better known as Smooth, just regular plain old Smooth. And I'm from Jersey, and I'm into film, cinematography. My day job is in telecommunications. Right now, I have a podcast that's finally gaining some traction. And what we typically discuss is mental health, relationships, and how they correlate. So on my side, we don't necessarily subscribe to the red pill or manosphere. What we do is we try to hold men and women accountable for what it is that they do. What can they do better? So how we normally work, and I do consultations one-on-one as well. So if someone was to ask me, they need help, the first thing I would say is, so what is it you want? And I would give them a path to be able to get it, whatever it is that they'd like.
Awesome. Okay, so my question to you is, Mr. Smooth, what brought you here? What is it about Princella and what Princella talk about that attracted you to come here?
Okay.
To talk.
So my wife actually watches your content, and she said, you know what, this would be a very good person for you to have a discussion with.
I focus on women's empowerment, and the leading or the driving force of some of the things that I teach, the focus is that one, men are incapable of love. Okay, so I tell women to love themselves and play the power game with men, right? They are incapable of love, and most people don't know what love is. So I teach love, and I've broken that down into 5 components. And so I shift the power dynamics for women in relationships if they choose to deal with men. But when they're finished with me, they may not even want to be in relationships and deal with men at all. They may just want to go live their life and manifest their dreams, goals, and desires without even a man being a second thought. Okay, so, and that's what I promote. I don't promote bringing men and women together, because it is not a woman's responsibility to make men do anything. It's not a woman's responsibility to build a man, fix him, detoxify him, anything. And the only way that you're going to have positive relationships is when you have 2 people who are whole, who are putting in effort 100% and 100% either side or both sides. And that's not what's happening. As a matter of fact, it's 150% of the responsibility put on the woman to do everything, while the man just feels like he's just supposed to sit there and ride it out and just enjoy the fruits of her labor. And so I disconnect women from that. What do you say about that?
Well, first question I would like to ask is, I mean, that was a lot to unpack there, but I'll address as much as I can one by one. Now, as far as men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like there is a very high percentage of men that behave like this, or is it absolute, to where men feel like they need the woman to do everything?
I'm going to ask you this question. You know do you know what the word exceptional means?
Sure.
I'm going to define it just in case, because I want an exact definition so we can go on with this. Okay. Exceptional definition. Unusual, not typical. Unusually good, outstanding. Right? Outstanding, unusually good, and not typical. In order for a person to be unusually good and not typical, which is exceptional, that means they are completely outside of the norm. So we're talking about someone who is at the top of the pyramid, because the least amount of people exist at the top of any pyramid. So if we're talking about the financial pyramid, the least amount of people are going to be at the top. You don't have that many trillionaires in the world, right? So they're going to be at the top of the pyramid. Even if we're looking at the fitness pyramid, you're going to have the few at the top, the ones with the 12 pack that's got 7% body fat. That's going to be a few people at the top of the pyramid. Even if we wanted to look at the prison system, your alpha men running the prison system, that's running drugs to the pipeline of prison to prison, that's a few at the top. Exceptional, right? That's not the majority. When you look at the standard deviation curve, right, the average person is going to be in the middle. So average at best, that was Kevin Samuel's thing, right? Average at best. And what is the average man? He is not exceptionally good. The average male is manipulative. The average male is deficient in sex needs. The average male has low self-esteem. The average male relies on manipulation to get his needs met. So what we're talking about, if we want to talk about an exceptionally good man, that ain't the majority.
See, and this is my problem with her, right? So you're gonna sit there and say, right? So you mad that Kevin Samuel said that the chick who called herself average is average. Yeah, 2 standard deviations away from the mean. That encompasses basically what we're gonna say is basically that 60 to 90% of everybody is an average. Like literally 60% of everybody is an average, right? And that's absolutely true. So on average is bad because we've decided that average is bad, not because average is actually bad, right? So on average, most Brazilian women are very beautiful, right? They're beautiful relative to maybe other countries that have less beautiful women. But the point is that in Brazil, average is very beautiful. That is still average, but it's very beautiful, right? So, but we're going to respond to that by saying, well, we're going to accept that. Fine, women are average. Cool. Most women are average. So most men are average too. Yep, absolutely. So therefore, all since most men are not exceptional, they're just average. We accept that. Therefore, they're deficient in sexual needs. They're this, they're that. Like, name everything horrible and negative you could say a man is, and that's what the average man is, because he's average. He's not exceptional. Like, wait, what? So you're trying to say that average men can't just be average, like as far as they're just normal and all of these things? No, they're not just normal and basic and all of these things. No, they are exceptionally horrible, because that's actually what she's doing. She's going to the other side of exceptionally good, and she's going to exceptionally horrible and saying that that's the average man. So, like, it's just gross. I'm sorry. I just think it's really gross she did that. Like that, I just think it's just so terrible. And I mean, everything else she said up until this point, I already have said. I don't like her. I think her rhetoric is bullshit. And she's worse than a feminist. She's like a feminazi. She's the reason why I started my blog 20 years ago. It was women like her. Okay, sorry. I'm good.
No worries. Hey, like I said, all opinions are welcome here. And speaking of welcome DJ Music.
Hey.
Who this woman?
How are you?
Good evening, folks. How we doing? Who this woman?
Princella Clark.
This is the first time I heard her actually speaking, but wow. I'm speechless. I am absolutely speechless. First of all, I could have clearly heard her say that no one knows the definition of love, but then she turned around in the next sentence and said, I'm going to teach it to you. Mm-hmm. Did they drop a pamphlet somewhere just for her?
I'll give you a quick what she says, that with her experience, that she says men doesn't know how to love, and she wrote a book about it. You have to read it for yourself. I can't give anything away.
Well, did you read it? Wouldn't her experiences be just in the men that she's dealt with?
And experience in life, and that's where I'm going to leave it. And if you have any other comments, go ahead, and then I'll play some.
Go right ahead, play some more. This is, I don't come up too
more
often.
to say about that. because in the book, because I read the book, because she says, right, you can't even criticize her and the terrible, clearly horribly biased against men rhetoric that she has if you've never read her book. So I went and bought her book and I read it, so that way I can then continue criticizing her. And so all of her stories, for the record, of her life story, because honestly, she does not do a great job of teaching people what love is at all in that book. But what she does do is she does give you some life stories and her life experiences. And I can tell you that what most of her life experiences and stories we're talking about is proving that women cannot show unconditional love. Women cannot be selfless. Women can be cruel and vile, even to children, even children they're related to. Because she was treated quite horribly by, like, her grandmother, for example, and her family, female people in her family, her mother, who resented her as a result of the treatment really that she was getting from her mom and from the rest of the world, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's very clear that the majority of her stories, up until obviously whatever situation she had with her husband that caused the downfall of their marriage just recently, is why it is that she actually had quite a lot of respect and love for men. And if anything, she would have been like the Jessica X's. That's literally what she was not that long ago. All of her rhetoric, her YouTube, everything was on that side of things, right? But she was also married. And all of her life experience up until that point in time told her that women were all of these negative things. And that's why in her book, all she talks about is women. And then her and her husband have a divorce, whatever happens in her personal life, and she comes back with this bullshit. And it's like, wait, what? Like, no, just no.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about the average and exceptional. once the infatuation period is over with, everyone ends up turning average. Yeah,
Average. Absolutely.
you can be dating a man that's a
Right.
billionaire, but
You're absolutely right.
after one too many arguments, after you done smelled his bad breath one too many times,
Right. You become
after,
average.
after you smell his poop that he left behind 2 hours ago, all that
Oh God.
exceptionalism comes down
Yeah.
to average.
Yeah. You had to take it to that extreme, but yeah, we understand where you're coming from. But he's right though. I mean, just think about it. After you live with someone after a while, and you get used to their ins and outs, their highs and lows. It's not that it's for her to say that people are exceptional. That would eliminate damn near the whole population, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
I'm gonna play some more,
mhm, let's go.
and
I
let's
hate
see.
her. Let's go.
Oh Lord,
Oh my God, hate is such
such a
a
strong
Such
word.
an apt word. It's
It's,
totally
it's,
apt word.
a
It's
bad
it's,
it's
choice
perfect.
of
Yeah.
words. Lord
Yeah.
have mercy.
hmm.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Tell us
And
how
I
you
just
really
want
feel,
you
Ruby.
to hold out
I
for the
will. Trust
exceptional
me.
man. You're free to respond.
Okay. I feel like you broke your number one rule in the very first question.
Oh no,
Um,
actually you did, because I asked you a question of what you thought about what I said, and you came and asked me another question. I let your deflection slide. And so this is how I answered your question. I let your deflection slide.
which question was that?
Yeah, when I told you
I
that
don't want
I
to
don't,
miss anything.
yeah, because I told at the very beginning, I told you what my objective is, that I don't teach what I teach women and what my
Oh
purpose
yeah, I got
is.
that.
Yeah, yeah. And I asked you, what do you think about that? And you said it's a lot to unpack there. And you instantly asked me another question, which is deflection.
And just enjoy the fruits of her labor. And so I disconnect women from that. What do you say about that?
Well, first question I would like to ask is, I mean, that was a lot to unpack there, but I'll address as much as I can one by one. Now, as far as men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like there is?
I let that slide and I went ahead and answered your question. And I don't deflect. I answered your question and exceptional. You asked me what was the percentage. I'm going to give you the standard deviation curve percentage, which is the standard deviation or distribution for anything. I'm going to use that. 68.2% of any population is going to be average, right there in the middle, right? 68.2. Okay. The exceptional man who is good, I gave you the definition of good, outstandingly good. This is a man who is highly empathic. He's empathetic. He's understanding. He's selfless. That is not the majority of people. So the majority of people are average and below. So I'm going to tell you, if you want to use standard deviation number, the standard deviation says that 95% of all distributions fall within two standard deviations, 95%. But I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, I think it's about 85 to 90% of men who are average and below, which are the ones who need to manipulate, lie to women, and everything.
Bullshit. That is literally anti all of the
No, with that.
science, all of the research, all of anything that we
So
know
your
about
answer
human
would be
behavior.
most
Bullshit.
men, 80, 85% or so,
85 to 90, and probably even
are
95.
not 85 to 90,
I've,
even
I've even,
95
yeah, I even go to 95, and
that
not just
are
black men. I'm talking about all men.
No.
not worthy at all.
I didn't say not worthy, but if you want to talk about what's worthy, now we got to ask the question: what do we mean by worthy? Because see, if I'm going to talk about what's worthy to me as an individual, no, the average male is not worthy of my time. You know why the average male ain't worthy of my time? Because the average male don't want to do nothing but use me for something. and no, you are not worthy to use me for anything. No, I don't want to be your piece, because that means you ain't got no peace. And that means you need to suck my peace out of me. No, you ain't worthy of that. You ain't worthy of my money. You ain't worthy of my time. You're not worthy of me caregiving for you. You're not worthy of me submitting to you. No, you're not. And guess what? The majority of them think that they are, because they make a little money, but I make money too. And
Ooh,
what makes you
yeah.
worthy? Because if I take your money away, I take your job, I take your little car away, what you left standing with? You left standing there with you. And I want to know who you are. And guess who you are? Your ethics, your morals, everything that you think about me as a woman.
Oh, that chick wouldn't stand a chance with me.
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. One conversation with her, and no disrespect to any of the ladies downstairs or in the panel. One conversation with this woman, I would never talk to her again in life. Not only she seems to be articulate, which is fine. I like a woman that uses her brain, but she uses this conversation to belittle people, not to say that this is what I think, this is what I know. You don't have a choice in that. I am this, I am that, I am all of these things. Okay, well, if you're all of these things, then be those things by your damn self. Let us average men and us average women cohabitate in this space by ourselves. This is the kind of person that the manosphere talks about. This kind of woman right here. They do exist.
Right. And she
Right here.
now the thing is, so she says that she has like like her degree. Now she doesn't have a degree in psychology, but she took some psychology courses, right? So she has about 1/25 of maybe the basic bachelor's level education in psychology that I do. But she has enough of it to bastardize basic concepts, and because she knows the terminology and stuff, this is how she's fooling these poor young women who also have broken hearts like she does, right? Because this is why those women are latching onto it, because just like her, they're hurt. Now here's the thing. What she's bastardizing, because we do say this, so in psychology, right, when we're talking about human behavior, any type of trait, introversion, extroversion, all these things, when you're talking about traits, right, in general, you can kind of map them out based on the standard, that normal distribution she's talking about, okay, where 68% of people in general fall in the middle. So if you look at introversion versus extroversion, you put that on a scale where one side is introverted, the other side is extroverted, right? About 68% of people are going to fall in the middle, right? And then some people are going to be extremely extroverted, some people are going to be extremely introverted, and whatever, right? And you can do that with basically anything. Mean versus nice, happy versus sad, whatever. And what we find that is, in general, with humanity, there's a regression towards the mean. So generally, the majority of humanity is average in all of these things. And she knows that. We have done countless studies across the world that proves that this is absolutely true. Just like, I don't know if it's just that she lacks the education or the knowledge or the intelligence to understand and put together all of the information, but we know for sure that the male brain and the female brain, they're definitely different. So it's not that men are less emotional, less caring, less compassionate, or whatever. Men, for example, are not super great at reading the emotional states of women based on their faces and their body language. Their brains aren't super programmed for it. Not that they don't care, they're just not great at reading it. They're also not great at emoting, and that's also because society tells them they're not allowed to learn that, but also because of the way their brains are. So while they're not great at being able to share the information as readily as women are, because their brains were made for it, and because, society trains us to tell everyone every 5 seconds how we feel about everything and to cuddle each other all the time and to da-da-da-da-da, right? But what she's trying to do is she's using half-truths and biases, right, to try to paint pictures that make it sound like men are these horrible, selfish, evil little creatures that just want to suck women dry. Well, if they want peace from you, then they don't have peace. Like, that's bullshit. That's like saying, well, if I want support from a man, then that means I'm just so friggin' unstable without him. Like, wait, no. That's not what that means. Like that's so I'm sorry, I'll mute myself. I have a hard time with her. I'm sorry.
I understand what you're saying, Ruby. I mean, to me, if I'm in a relationship with a woman, that kind of gives you a piece anyway. So it's a combined effort. Of course, there's going to be highs and lows, peaks and valleys that you're in any relationship with. But after listening to her, it's obvious that to me that any person that she's dealt with has somewhere or the other either stumped on her, or used her for maybe her money or her time or something, and maybe it's just. But again, she has to blame herself. When is enough enough? How long are you gonna allow someone to use you?
But see, here's the deal, and I'm gonna keep this one short. I've crossed the path of quite a few of these type of women. At the end of the day, I just want to know if you're gonna give me some ass. That's all I want to know. If I think I can get some ass from you, I will put in a little bit more effort. But if it's obvious I ain't gonna get the ass, I'll let you walk. That's all I want to know.
Okay,
Somebody play that clap them cheeks song for that man, please.
Okay.
Right?
All right. We have Chaos on the mic.
Oh damn, we do.
What's up, Chaos? How you doing, brother?
Sure. Is it because Thanksgiving's coming up, Shar? Are you feeling extra benevolent today?
We got our Christmas goose early. Come on with it.
Okay, sorry.
Damn, DJ, you sound like you're in an echo or something. That's that mic using sounds so echoish. Like,
yeah, sound like
am I echoing?
Yeah, it's like it's echo, like it's like a clear voice, but it's like you're talking to a horn, and it's echoing your voice a little bit.
Tape back and then listen, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Besides on the content at hand, I never think you ladies was going to cover a woman like this. I have had her on my show. Was it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago? And I see a different look, a change for the last 3 years when I had her on my little podcast. And one thing that I've noticed what she is doing is she is the definition of a lit beep in a way where she's gravitating all the misguided women that gone through trauma, gone through some emotional heartaches, and she's sucking them in like a vacuum cleaner, and they're gonna eventually echo her message, to the point that if not careful, she's gonna lead them to eating carpets, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
But okay. Yeah, she says she came from, which I do recall from the pro-black era some years ago, but that's what she says. She's going to bring women to a different level in life, and what I see happening in 2023, probably by the summer, you will see her. She'll be the new thing. Once they finish with the pasty lady, then they'll be having conversations about and with her. So that's another reason why
Pasty lady.
Yeah.
What's the subscriber count? I'll probably recognize what you're talking about.
It's 18,000 now.
18 grand?
Okay.
No, I'm talking about the one that pasty lady. I'm not talking about.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Who cares?
Because I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Is that better?
Yeah, like who cares though? Oh, that sounded better. I think.
Matter of fact, Char, can you do me a favor? Can you put in the back chat so I know what we're talking about?
Oops. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that lady. I mean, I just seen her picture everywhere because I've been busy. I just see the pasty lady picture everywhere, and she's on everybody's thumbnail. So I'm just saying, this woman will be on everyone's thumbnail by summer, and because of the message. And that's one thing, as I said before, people are going to have their opinion. So they're going to have opinion because she's going to grow, or she is growing. they're going to hear different things and they're going to challenge it. So I'm just bringing some of this to the forefront. And as far as being a young lady, my experience with young men, of course, is what some of the songs that I'm going to go over the lyrics with. But I'll play a little bit more. I'll try to speed it up and get on to the lyrics and just to see, because Jack, he's a mess.
No, I was
Can I
gonna say.
add?
I was gonna say one more thing about these
Okay, go
type of
ahead.
damn women. All right, so my problem with these type of chicks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay. Now, hypothetically, let's say she's 40. Oh, now at 40, you want to try to act hard, but madam, you need to understand. This dude used you up. This dude used you. This dude got some money from you. If you was hard from the get go, all these dudes would not have gotten what they got out of you. It's too late in the game
Facts.
now to try to
Thank you.
throw it up now.
Say that. Say that again. Say that again. If you was that hard in the beginning, none of these dudes would have been able to take advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
But
No,
you know
because
I'm
she
what?
was
honest
Wait a
with
minute.
married,
Wait a minute.
y'all. No,
I
you.
she
gotta
was
say
married.
something. I gotta say
Okay.
something.
All right,
I
Katie.
think what you guys are missing is that you say, okay, at 40, now you want to do something. Okay, so in life, you're gonna go through some things. You're gonna go through your 20s, you're gonna go through your 30s. By the time you make it to your 40s, you will have went through some things, and they're not gonna always be good. So if you went through some bad things in your 20s and your 30s, at what point are you supposed to get it together? Why is it when people start trying to, get their stuff together, it's like people are saying, oh no, you're getting it together now. You should have had it together in your 20s. It doesn't work that way.
Because for these
Like you
because
say,
for these
Chaos, you say 3 years ago, she had a different look. Do you look the same as you did 3 years ago today? Nobody does. We change.
right, but the thing is with these type of individuals, I've only dealt with the female version of these. A lot of it is just a projection. They really haven't gotten their stuff together. They've just figured out a way to put up a front.
Now, to be quite honest with you, if you heard a guy saying the very same things that this lady said tonight, what would be the question? Who hurt you? Some girl must have stumped on you, whatever. And that's all I'm taking it from. And I understand, we all go through changes in life. Some good, some bad again. But you know, you got to take personal responsibility in things that happen to you. And it seems to me that she decided to one day say, "Okay, I'm tired of men." Okay, you're tired of the men that you dealt with, the men that you chose. That's understandable. Go to another store.
But DJ Music, let's be honest. And for people who don't know how old she is, she's 36. Let y'all know.
Okay, I just threw a number up there.
I mean, but it's like this. She has lived an experience even to the point getting married. And this is my thing. This is the only hustle a lot of people have outside working 9 to 5. And I'm being honest, I'm not gonna hold my tongue on this. This is one way that she's always trying to rebrand and market herself. She was always eventually going to come to this anyway, but she find a way how to do so. And this mess she's doing now, and the way how she watched analytics, that this is the best opportunity now that the fire is hot, for her to come out what she's doing now to do this full time. And trust me, she will do this full time by the end of this year. And I would say by the time her birthday passed by January, she'll be doing this full time and stop what she's doing. Because let's be honest, this is like another hustle. A lot of people. Not saying I'm not knocking the hustle of people doing YouTube, but a lot of people are finding their way, their stride, their message, and they find ways to get out of the rat race. And she found something that really works, because she was one time at 4K. Now I think she's up to maybe 16K now.
18.
In a matter of few months. Oh, in a matter of 2-3 months. 3 months now. So she found her strive and found her identity for herself on YouTube, that what she was always going to do anyway. So don't be fooled on what she's doing now. I mean, yes, this is content, because we are content creators. I mean, I'm not sure I'm gonna cover it because I had her on for it, and I'm like waste my time covering it because I see the more deeper agenda. But if she's gonna start bringing some buzz to a lot of people to really push back on her flawed logic, especially when it comes to data statistics. Now, Ruby is gonna be a doctor. She reads these papers. She understands more than anybody else. When people tell me, I say they gone to school, they did this, that, I see you're not in the field like that where you have to look at countless and have a good, clear analysis. Am I right, Ruby? Am I right? If you're still there? Oh, she's.
I'm not really sure exactly what you're asking me.
No, I'm not saying you're not a doctor yet, but you've gone through enough research articles, all this, that this you have to learn this, understand this, right? And what people are putting out on the internet, personally, they take this as gospel, correct?
A lot.
You keep asking me things that aren't related to like my education, because then you're asking me if other people are taking something for gospel.
Well,
Is that
data,
why people listen to
like
Princella?
data.
I don't think people care about the data. I think people care about their feelings. It's feelings over facts these days. They care about the way she makes them feel. That's why this is so effective. Because
right.
she's hurt, and she's hurt. See, here's the thing. I disagree with you, Chaos, in general, so I can't really agree with you, because I don't think that she was destined to do this at all. I think that what she was doing made her very happy, and she believed it wholeheartedly. But like a lot of women, and I mean, I'll say a lot of people, but you know, and since we're talking about this specifically, I'll say like a lot of women, the reason why she believed the way she believed is because she thought, if I just keep doing all of these things, I stay young, I stay beautiful, you know, and I work really hard on myself, and I'm submissive to my husband, and I feed him 3 meals a day, and I clean his house, and I give him the best head he's ever had in his life, and I'm always willing to ride him, and da da da. If I am the perfect woman, right? If I'm the perfect traditional wife, if there's no way he could replace me, and I stay damn gorgeous on top of that, my man will never cheat on me. My man will never forsake me. He would never leave me. He would never, you know, do all those horrible things. I am avoiding that. And then she thought it was working, so now she's going to teach the masses what she has learned about the magic of earning the perfect husband. And then when that didn't work out for her because her husband broke her heart, right? Same thing as that Anne Marie chick from Canada. Same thing happened to her, right? And she was just flabbergasted. Like, this was not what she saw for herself. She even saw herself as better than all these chicks that are out here, couldn't get a guy to marry her, single mom, this and that. She was better than all those chicks. And now she's in the same position as them. And she is angry, she's hurt, she's devastated, she's disillusioned. And what people do with that disillusionment could be a variety of things, right? Like Anna Marie or whatever her name is, and now Princella, you're seeing this happens a lot. Hurt people, right? And so she changed every single belief system. She turned them all on their heads, right? And now she's just pouring out all of that pain. And she found, it's called, it's one of the defense mechanisms where you take something that's very painful, and instead of you letting that be painful, you turn it into something that feels more productive. And that's what she's done. She's turned it into a power ballad, basically. Right? It's not that she's weak or she's foolish or she chose wrong or she wasted her life or she wasted or she. It's not about any of that. It's about how all men are horrible people. All men are terrible. All men are users. All men are this. All men are that. Women aren't flawed. Women didn't choose wrong. Women didn't ignore red flags. Women didn't da 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 da. You know, the reason why she couldn't earn this thing from a man, because if she should have been able to, right? She was a perfect woman, is because men are horrible. They don't have it in them to love you. That's all it is, right? And so that is very a comforting thought for her, and it's a power for her. And now she's going to share that power with others who are going to latch onto it because they're all devastated too. And so to me, this has nothing to do with the facts. She's bastardizing the facts to give herself legitimacy, but at the end of the day, they don't care about that. She doesn't need them. Right? She needs the power of this is a very powerful orator who speaks really well, and it's feelings over facts. And this is the one thing I agreed on Hafiz with when he was doing the whole Pearl thing response. He said we are in an era of feelings over facts, and it's absolutely correct. We really are.
Right, but see, here's the deal.
Also, hold on.
All the projects.
One second. Neek, holy crap. I cannot believe you're here in the chat. I love you forever. Go, what's up? I love you. Okay, I'm sorry, Jack. Please continue.
I just had to say that. All the projects in Section 8 housing across the United States, dating back to the 60s and before, had several versions of her. What she's talking ain't nothing new. Hell, my damn aunt, I think she's now, 80. She talked this crap back in the 70s. She just teach us a rehash of the rehash of the rehash of the rehash. All I want to know is, baby, do I have the possibility of getting some ass with me? That's all I want to know.
And let's continue on that one. Next.
I don't think no ass coming out of that.
Because if I take your money away, I take your job, I take your little car away, what you left standing with? You left standing there with you. And I want to know who you are. And guess who you are? Your ethics, your morals, everything that you think about me as a woman is anti my survival, is anti me flourishing and being me. So no, you're not worthy, because the majority of men are brainwashed with patriarchal philosophy, which is anti-woman. So no, they're not.
Wow. So with those numbers, right? So 85% of men would be ineligible for marriage and ineligible for
85 to 95. Go use the high number. Go 95. Go 95.
Okay, so all right, 95. I like 95.
Yeah,
okay.
Go 95.
95% of men are ineligible, and that would be at least for you. Now, with your teachings, do you teach women to also find those men as ineligible?
I teach women
that 95%.
Let me tell you something. My teachings are not based on them trying to go find no man. My teachings to women are to elevate themselves. All of my teachings is women elevating themselves, to eradicate any codependent behavior. If they have any traumas, to eliminate them, right? To elevate themselves, to understand what love is, and to be able to pierce the veil of deception. The fact of the matter is, I teach women to be in tune with themselves. And I don't teach women to do anything with a man in mind. You're not becoming better. You're not becoming better so you can get him, right? You're becoming the best version of you. You are becoming your true and authentic self. And he either like you for who you are or he don't. And if he don't, he can move around.
Now, with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I talk to many men, right? And family men. Most people in my circle are family men, right? Who have happy marriages. And when you say that men are selfish and cannot be selfless, I strongly disagree. And I can tell you why. Me, myself, I put my family first. If I had to jump in front of a bus and sacrifice myself for my wife, I would do it. That is not selfish at all.
Can I say something? You know, men are glad to tell you that they'll risk their life to get a piece of punani. That they will risk their life.
That's different.
No. But here's the thing: risking your life, right, and jumping. If you're willing to risk your life for some punani, and people, it doesn't mean that it's for a selfless intent. Risking your life is not necessarily a selfless intent. It can still be selfish. You could be risking your life to be seen as a hero, which is totally selfish. Right? You could be. I can't believe my doggone camera still ain't came on. I'm still over here while I'm talking to you, I'm still trying to figure this out. What is the reason that a man looks for a woman?
You want to talk about me personally or
no? Men in general. Because guess what? I'm not finna be with you, and all these women on here that's single ain't finna be with you. So you are irrelevant, because we talking about men as a whole, right? Sure. And these women. So why these men want a woman?
There could be plenty of reasons. Some of it ill intent, of course, right? There are some men who would marry for money. There are some men because they might feel that the female is beautiful. Some people might just want to serve it, and that's how it is sometimes. But there are some people who get married because they make an intense connection. They have a bond. They enjoy each other's company, and they feel like their life would be better with that person than without it.
What percentage of that? What percentage of men are marrying women because they just cool and he just like her smile? What? Because
that's something that
68%, bitch. You already said it.
Now,
no, you can't. The reason why is you can't tell somebody that like it's different. You can't just say this person doesn't love someone. If someone says they love this glass or they love this car, hold on, I was done. Because this is why people constantly look for affirmation. This is because you never know. It's just one of those things that you can't really measure. You can't tell if a person loves you or not. You can think so. They can do everything that you want them to do, but you still don't know if they love you. You can just hope that they love you and do right by you.
That's not the question. First, that's not the question that I asked. Number two, yes, you can. I didn't ask can a person love you or can you tell? I asked you what percentage of the people, of men, are marrying women because he like her smile and just like her company. What percentage?
And I answered it. I said it's impossible to tell.
It's not, because it's
I
not.
just gave an explanation as to why.
It's not, because the majority of men claim that marriage has no benefit to them, which tells you that there is a purpose that ain't got nothing to do with a woman and her value, her actual value in herself, which is the reason why he's marrying her. The majority of men are not marrying women or even looking for women to like them. They are looking for women to use, right? Whether it's him needing a place to stay, whether it's him needing a place to stay, whether it's him needing a caretaker, whether it's him, because I don't know if you saw the show last night, but the show last night, I proved my point, right?
No, you didn't. There's no way you could have proved that point. No freaking way.
Can you please pause this?
Telling men that they need to find a wife.
This woman right here, listen, I would literally look at her and say, you know what? Something's wrong with you. You need to go sit down and have sit on someone's couch and examine and clean yourself up before you out here so-called giving self-love tips or love in general. First of all, there's all different kinds of love, so there's no right or wrong definition to it. You can't tell whether someone loves you just because they say it. That's not an indication of it. People show you love by their actions through their day to day. If I walk up to you right now, Ruby, and say, Ruby, I love you with all my heart, would you believe me?
No, probably not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it would be through my actions, just the same as your husband. But I bet if your husband walked up to you and told you that, would you believe him?
Oh, I would believe him.
Yes,
right?
Because it's through his actions. Through his actions, he showed you over the years, through the course of being together, that this is the feelings that I have for you in general. Again, going back to this woman, there's absolutely no way that you can tell me that she has ever been in a healthy relationship, whether it be at 18 or whether it be at 30, 36. She hasn't seen a healthy relationship. She don't know what one is.
No.
So you can't tell me that she does.
A healthy relationship, though. Most people haven't. I mean, we
absolutely
all
right. Right.
And
but we all move from
still be with that person. If they were all great, we'd still be with that person.
That's right. Me personally, I mean, I thought when I got married, I was going to be married forever. Something happened along the line in the time that we got together, from the time that we started dating to the time that we went down to the court and said enough is enough. Something happened. I don't know. She don't know. But it's not that there was some love lost between her. It was just the outside and the physical things that we lost touch with. That said, okay, whatever is going on between us is not. It's not gelling enough for us to stay in this relationship. We have more bad times than we have good. And that's, and people get over that. And people do move on from that. And it just seems to me that she has absolutely not. And as a man speaking to a woman, if I was sitting down and we got to know each other, first of all, on the first date, if I'm talking to you about sex, then if you sit there long enough to let me talk to you about it, or if I call you back and the only conversation that I ever have with you is about sex, of course, that's what I'm telling you. But again, what is it? The physical attraction? Because when you first meet someone, you don't know how much money they make. You may know what kind of car they drive. You don't know what kind of house they live in. You don't know what kind of job they get. So these are the things that you got to get to know to someone about. And sex is probably one of the third or the fourth thing that you start to learn about someone. It's not how she's describing it.
That's one of the last things for me, music.
See, wait a minute now. See, that 6 months shit. We talked about that before. That 6 months don't work for me. Ain't no damn way.
A little bit later.
I know. I said put it on the refrigerator. Remind me when I'm gonna get. No, thank you.
Now that take a bullet. Now my ex-wife, and she's an ex-wife for a reason. She asked me this when we was dating, would I take a bullet for her? I said, let's look at it this way. I'm gonna treat that situation the way I treated combat. I would take a calculated risk.
Now, I would answer this like this. For my wife and for my children, yes, I would. I would put myself in harm's way for them. I absolutely positively would. Girlfriend, girl, you might be on your own, but my wife and my children, yeah, I
Nah,
definitely would.
Right.
No
for my
question.
wife, for
Like,
my
Absolutely no
wife,
question.
my wife, it was still, I'll take a calculated risk.
You know
but you
what?
know what
She
though?
is your
Here's the
ex-wife
thing
for a
though.
reason, Mr. Spade.
That's the
I
point.
I didn't.
That's the thing.
No.
A
I
lot
missed
of
what she
people
said.
don't realize that.
I missed what she said.
I said she is your ex-wife for a reason.
Oh, that is true.
Definitely
Right.
is.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't realize. See, this is what happens, right? People tell themselves all kinds of crap about relationships, about dating, about marriage, about whatever. So when they're married to the wrong person, right? Even though they don't feel any of these things, right? They don't feel like they would die no problem to keep them alive. You know, they don't feel like, oh, submission sounds like this, like, who the hell do you think you are trying to tell me what to do? Da da da. And people don't realize, like, if you were in like a really happy, functional marriage the way it's supposed to be, you wouldn't feel those things, right? These are things that people describe because they come naturally if y'all are firing on all cylinders. So you're obviously not.
That's right.
And a lot of people don't realize that. And so then chicks like this woman, right, that we're talking about here, Princella, right? She was, and part of it, I did this at one point in my life. I actually have told stories about that relationship, right? Where this was like the love of my life, truly, madly, deeply, like hugging him was not close enough. I wanted to basically, I swear to God, it sounds creepy, but it's like hugging him, just like us just pressing our bodies together was not enough. I wanted to like climb inside of him. I felt so like, I just needed to be closer and closer and closer. And it's like I was so like I almost couldn't breathe without him and da da da. And to me, this was like the definition of real love, right? But it wasn't. It was actually the definition of real insecurity. It was the definition of real codependence. Yep, that's absolutely was there as well. But it was definitely dysfunctional. Nothing about it was healthy. And part of that lack of health was all of the lies and the cheating that was happening on the other side, right? But you know, I was also defining my entire being, everything I am by this relationship and what I had, what we were building, what we were growing, right? And in a way, I guess if I had gotten married to him, I would have been walking around like I'm better than everybody. Because I'm sure that's what Princella did, right? She's got the man. She's got the love of her life. Let me tell y'all about how y'all could do better so you could get something good like me. Because See, women get there. It happens, right? And so when I say she was disillusioned because of what happened to her 2017, 2018, around that time, whatever, like her entire everything has been shattered. And the only way that she is keeping her pieces together, right, is again to take away all the accountability, right, all the self-reflection, all of the parts where she can really sit down and even take a look at, okay, well, what parts did you screw up, honey? Because yeah, we know where he's a horrible person, but what about you? And
Right.
wait, is that indicative of all men? No, it's not. So it is this one guy, and you dedicated all of your best years, and maybe even your virginity. I don't know. I don't know how long she was with him. Your child, giving him children. God knows, money, finances, lots and lots of money, support, time. You turn down amazing opportunities for yourself. Everything for the wrong guy. That sucks. It sucks. It sucks that that guy did not live up to what he should have lived up to. It sucks that that guy worked so hard to prove to you that he was trustworthy, specifically when he knew he was being untrustworthy. It hurts and it sucks, right? And it's like she can't deal with it. So instead of dealing with it, she's doing what she's doing now. And it's like she's gonna mess up a bunch of hurt younger people who don't need this bullshit. And they're always gonna have these kernels of truth that she keeps mixing with all of the toxicity. They're always gonna have that confusion, and they're not gonna be sure where the line is, right? And they're not gonna be sure where the line is because honestly, except for the people who have experienced a healthy, functional relationship after experiencing all of the not healthy, functional ones to be able to tell the difference, right? Except for the few people who finally get there, who the hell's going to be able to tell them? No. This part is true. This part really isn't. It's okay to. Where's that leadership online that's going to help these poor young women that she is scooping up by the handful, left, right, and center? That she went from what 4,000 subscribers you said to 20,
Ruby,
18 something.
that's
Yeah.
where the women need to have discernment. I hear exactly what you're saying, but the women that she's talking to, for all of that to be true, we'd have to think that these women were just mindless, jelly-brained idiots, who don't have any discernment. And there are a lot of people like that on this platform that are very mindless and they are straight followers. So yeah, she's gonna get a whole clump of women who are just gonna follow her because yeah, he did that to me and I'm gonna follow her. But the one thing that I peep out about what she says, and this is something that I've always been with myself, and it rings true with me, it resonates with me. So, I can like look past a lot of the other things she says. I didn't go as far as you did. I didn't buy her book, so to be honest, I'm not committed to her, the 5 components of love. I'm not committed to that. So when she talks about that, I kind of, block that out because that's not where my mind is at. What I like that she says and where it resonates for me is that she's saying she's gonna teach women, and that's, relative. Women to worry about themselves. From the time, we're little girls, little girls are, we're like, groomed to be mothers and, housekeepers, with our little kitchen sets and our little babies and, that sort of thing. So we grow up with this fairy tale, like, oh yeah, I'm going to meet my Prince Charming and, we're going to get married and it's going to be forever. But when you get into that situation, you realize, oh my God, he's not Prince Charming. And, this is some hard work and this is just not what I thought it was going to be. And that's because you weren't prepared in life to be dealing with another person. You may have not even had yourself together. A lot of women had their babies young, got married young. And when you're, 18 and then you turn 27, there's a great amount of difference in maturity in who you are. And if you got married at 18, you're like, damn, at 27, you're like, wow, if I knew then what I know now, I would have done some things differently, and that's what it is a lot of women are not taught to actually know yourself and not be so man focused. I don't think there's anything wrong with that message to not be so man focused. Get yourself together. Don't worry about, what a man wants from you or any of that, because at the end of the day, you have to have self accountability for yourself. You don't grow up and just wait for some man to marry you to take care of you. Like we talked about that before, Shar, where you're like,
yeah,
where they were having that discussion where they were like, the women shouldn't get the jobs. They should just, wait for the man, to, marry them and take care of them. So in the meantime, what is she supposed to be doing while, he's out there? She hasn't met him yet. So in the meantime, her parents are supposed to be taking care of her. She's not supposed to be working. To me, that just sounds so ridiculous. We as independent individual women, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And I don't understand what is the big problem about teaching women to
No, but that's not what she's teaching them. No. That's not what she's teaching them. Because here's the thing. All of those women, including her, everybody has known that. In fact, her whole entire life experience has literally told her that she has no choice but to take care of herself because her mom's not going to do it, her grandma's not going to do it, no one's going to look out for her, no one's going to care about her, because women are inherently selfish and inherently will absolutely step all over the women, young women, people they should be loving and supporting in their lives to take care of their own stuff. Now, that's what her life experience has taught her. So she's absolutely aware of that. No, what the problem with what she's teaching is why? What do you need to do? Well, you need to learn to worry about yourself. Why? Because men do not care about anything but themselves. All men are horrible. All men are selfish. All men are cruel. All men are users. All men. Men are horrible. So you need to disengage yourself from all men because all men are horrible people. That is what she's teaching. She is teaching men are incapable of love. All men are incapable of love. All of them.
I haven't heard all men. What you just said before? Incapable of love. You kept
they're
saying,
they're horrible people. They're horrible people. They're selfish. They're named something. They're
I didn't
horrible.
hear that part of all, but what I have heard, and I agree with, and it makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with it, that all men want something from you.
You're damn right.
Exactly. So that's true.
I've
And
known
All
that
and
people
I
since I
want
was
something from
11 years old.
people. What do you
You're damn
mean?
right.
But women want stuff from women too. We only talk to each other, but we don't want nothing from each other. Even if it's just we want companionship, we want understanding, we want jokes, we want, you know what I mean? We want someone we can trust. We want a listening ear. Like human beings want things from other human beings. That's why
Yeah.
we are herd animals. We are social creatures. So therefore, we all want something from one another. And the fact that we want things from each other is literally what keeps us being able to function in a society. That's what altruism works on. Altruism works on the basis of the fact that people want things from each other. Altruism, that selflessness, ultimate selflessness, is not actually that selfless. Because if you think it through, what you realize is people are sacrificing themselves for the good, not just of the greater good randomly, but of the good of something or someone they care about, hoping for reciprocity in return in the future, right? Everybody's like that. We all want something. That doesn't mean that we're incapable of love, because as women, we want something. And
well,
just
I
like,
don't know
and
about all that. I don't know her saying any of those things, but I'm trying to make it go into a different direction to make it a little light. Kind of
Well,
know where you're going. I heard what you're saying, but I want to get into something a little bit more comical.
oh,
And
can I
Jack
add
kind of brought it up. Go ahead.
one thing? This is my last part. So
Oh, no worries.
I love listening to the women that says I did all of this for the marriage, blah blah blah. But the question I end up asking them is, okay, I hear all of that, but did you do all of that for that little piece of your brain, or did you do this for the actual marriage? And what you was doing, was it beneficial or did it take away from the marriage? Because you can say I cooked, I cleaned, I did all this, when really that's not what the marriage required. It required other things that you failed to give.
Okay. Well, I hope you got some answers when you did ask that question.
Oh, I know they all be jacked up after I ask that question.
Oh, okay.
That lady needs me on her show. I'll have her all jacked up.
You can go over there if you like, but you
Not
started
me.
it. You started it with them cheeks. So I want to go into this song.
I'm a man. I'm sorry.
Must
It's
be going.
okay. Don't apologize for being
How
that.
does
You
it
got
work?
that testosterone.
I'm
It's
just
all
being
right.
I'm being facetious. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, no.
Go into them cheeks.
But anyway, since somebody brought it up, named Jack Spade. Look at these lyrics, Jack. Now the woman, she innocent. Let's check out what the guy's talking about, okay?
I told you, man, it ain't about no woman. That's about Bill.
Ain't about no bill. Young and tender. I think you're the girl for me. Not used up. You're still tight. We should hit it off. Okay, that's a hell of an intro, but okay. And she said, "You're too fast. It won't last. You can call me innocent." So she's trying to stay, innocent. That's what she want to do. But he continues on. He said, "You're just what I'm looking for. A girl that's not so fast. She can't slow down. Without too much experience. You fit the bill because you're so innocent." And then it goes on. And she's thinking about those words that he said in her ear. Should I go lose control or should I say innocent? Okay. So he goes on to say, "You don't have to be so cautious. Every time I ask, you turn me down. All I want to do is love you. Can't be all bad. I want someone who's innocent." Sure. And then we go on. Oh, and then he does say that I want you for my lady. So he started with love, and then I want you for my lady. Then he goes on. That's the kind of girl for me. I'm looking for a girl who's innocent. And then he goes on to say, you're sure to lose your, because he want to clap them cheeks. She gonna lose her innocent. So you know what happened? She slaps him like, I knew it. That's all you want from me. He didn't say anything about, oh, you got good grades, you're very intelligent, like the way you speak, anything like that. He went straight to, I want to clap them cheeks. And this is how we are approached when we're younger. And Ruby, I understand what you're saying when you're saying that, we take responsibilities. We do, but sometimes the guy get in the ear and get to talking, and we lose control or we lose our innocence. What do you do? These things happen. I'm
Yeah.
just I'm just saying it happened. I'm not saying, it ain't gonna happen. One guy, one day is gonna be the one that's gonna whisper in your ear from the tender age of 16 to 23 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You're gonna go by those feelings. We're emotional. That's what we do sometimes.
So we're men. That's my point. Like, people, just because men aren't allowed to be emotional, like they're not allowed to tell people they have feelings or whatever, right? So therefore we just invalidate their feelings. So like we treat like these young boys, right? Just like we're young girls. We're like, oh, but someone whispered in our ear. Yeah, but guess what? You wore a short skirt in front of this 14-year-old boy, and he has not been able to think about anything else other than what your thighs must look like as you're walking right underneath the skirt, right? That place that he can't see anymore. He can't stop thinking about it. Like it's literally intoxicated him to the point where nothing else in the world matters. Like, we are forgetting that young boys are also young and, at our whims. And in fact, that's something I learned very young, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, oh, wait a minute, I have this thing, called the P, right? But
The hips.
yeah, but it's a power. It's this massive power that all of a sudden I have, and it gives me power over all men, literally all men, just because I exist. And I smell good, I'm pretty, I look soft, they might want to touch me, and they're like, man, the things that you can make boys do just from those feelings alone, right? Now, and they know. A lot of them will know they'll never get to touch you. Just the fact that they might, though, one day have earned some good favor with you, right? So I'm just saying, listen, at the end of the day, right, like, we're all just as bad, and we're all just as good, and we're all just as, helpless to the whims of our bodies and our emotions and all whatever. Like, boys are people too, like
They are.
we act like they're
I'm gonna
born
get me
grown.
some.
They're not.
Damn that. I'm gonna get me some. Damn that. I'm gonna get me some. Yeah.
You hope
I'm
one day.
tell you that right now. Since the subject came up, I'll try the nice guy approach first. How you doing, Miss Lady? Yeah, I'll try that. You come at me with a tight skirt on, looking good, smelling good. What am I supposed to do? Hey, some clouds look good up there. That's right. Them clouds look good. Let's talk about that. Nah, that's not gonna work. You smell like fresh water. Now, I just came out the desert. I'm thirsty.
See, the poor man. He's just thirsty. That's all.
That's
He
it.
just needs a drink.
Just quench my thirst. That's all you need to do.
Demonize his poor soul.
Right. You ain't gotta. It ain't got to be every day. Come by on Friday, and when you leave on Monday, I'll see you next week.
Exactly. Don't worry, music. I got you.
Right,
I understand.
I hate to keep picking at us, but 6 months, that ain't gonna work.
Well, in defense of Alexander O'Neal, folks got to understand that one, he's a recording artist. Number two, he's had a lifelong drug problem. And everybody ain't Rick James. Just because they say certain things doesn't mean that they've actually done it. All right. So that's in defense of Alexander O'Neal. All right.
Well, I'm just saying it's lyrics. It does happen, and that's all I'm pointing out.
I mean, yes, Rick James did sing 17. Yeah, we all know about that, but everybody ain't Rick.
Rick James was burning them up with candle wax. All kind of freaky shit was going on with Rick James.
Dang.
He
Mm,
dropping the candle wax on them.
dang. Okay.
Mm.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It sure is. I see. Now I have some lyrics from Jay-Z, and I found them very interesting. He goes along a timeline of meeting his wife, birth of his children, and ended with still the struggle he has today. Um, it's art, but you know how art is. And we're going to go through the lyrics and let's see what you guys think about it. Okay. All right. So what is it called? The chorus. Okay. I'm letting you down every day, letting you down every day. Why do I keep on running away? Okay. I took the sound outside to worry about it because Jay Z don't play. He does not play. Oh shoot. Okay. This is real fast. Okay, darn. Look, I apologize. Often womanized. Took from my child to be born. See through a woman's eyes. Took for these natural twins to be. What I'm understanding from these lyrics is he did a lot of womanizing, did what he want from a woman, and once he, even though he was settled down with his wife, it took for his child to be born before he actually like, okay, all right, I gotta do, I gotta level my head, I gotta kind of ease up, I gotta see what's going on. I got a child now, I got responsibilities. Do you agree with that? No, maybe. Who's doing the chopping in the background? Mute up somebody. Took me too long for this song. I don't deserve you. I harassed you out in Paris. Okay, took too long, so I guess he took so long to apologize. He realized he wasn't doing the right thing or treating her a certain way. But now he's dealing with it, and he's looking back and like, dang, I don't even deserve you. Now he's talking about an experience that he harassed her out in Paris. And let's see what's next. Please come back to Rome. You make it home. So he's saying, come back home because she isn't there. And without her, it isn't home to him. And then he goes to start remembering that they used to talk for hours when she was out on tour. But now she ain't answering the phone. So he's saying, please pick up the phone. Pick up the phone. Because what? She's probably angry, upset with him about, some things. And she ain't answering. So he's like, hey, pick up the phone. Then he goes back to remembering the past, saying, I said, don't embarrass me instead of be mine. That was my way, in other words, a proposal for us to go steady. Okay.
This sounds like nothing more than a damn simp tale.
Oh, there you go. See that? There you go.
It's the same guy that made the song "Girls, Girls, Girls, Girls" all over the globe.
You don't understand art. Just stop it. Just stop
All right, yeah, that he just put it. Look, baby, I wrote you a song. See, I'm sorry, I wrote this song for you. It's, it's gonna sell up to 1,000 copies, and you can have all the money.
it. Stop
I'm sorry, I didn't fucked up. I messed up. Here it is.
it.
Play
Well,
this record, y'all. Please,
anyway, it was
please.
it was her 21st birthday,
See
and
that?
and he's saying that she matured faster than him. He wasn't ready, so he apologized, and he said, "I seen the innocent leave your eyes." I wonder why he saw the innocent leave her eyes. You know why? Because he did something.
Yeah, I was gonna say he did something.
And
Yeah, that's why the sister beat him up in the elevator.
oh Lord, see, there you go.
What did he deserve, though? But that's another story.
There you go. Well, I can actually say that I remember uh, how the soul left my eyes when the guy was with disappointed me. Be quiet, Danteezy. And
He gearing up.
yeah, he's gearing up.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, I actually was sitting there thinking, what did I do? I'm thinking, oh, I did everything. I answered his call. I did this. I went there. And I'm just trying to figure out where did I go wrong. But it had nothing to do with me. Just nothing. But it's still, once you get that first hurt, that big disappointment, you're confused. And you're just not quite right. So he's going to say that he still mourned the death of that happening, of him disappointing her so much. He's still in mourning of that. And then he goes on to say that he apologized for the stillborns because I wasn't pressing. Your body wouldn't accept it. So with the stress of trying to hold on to, children, and also with what he had going on, he's apologizing because he was the cause of the stress of what had happened.
Yeah, and a check.
You said a check?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna stop paying attention to you. I apologize to all the women whom I toyed with your emotions because I was emotionless. I apologize because at your best you are. Now, isn't that how it normally goes in the beginning when you're younger? You're saying whatever it is, you're doing whatever it is to get with that woman because you don't have a lot. You got what, a slingshot in your pocket and a couple of coins, maybe some Jordans. You don't, have much. And
Yeah, that could be true case, sure, in most cases, but in Jay-Z case, that ain't true.
look at the art of it. The art.
That ain't no art. You call it what you want to. You can put it in a frame. You can put it around gold letters, pastel, calligraphy, however you want to call it. That ain't art. That's a baby I'm sorry letter.
It's still art, though. It's still a story. It's
Yeah,
still art.
yeah. I told the whole public that's a confession. Him and Usher teamed up on that. This is my confession.
Okay.
Babyface did it better.
Well, I don't know about that.
Never keeping secrets. I won't going to make it up to you.
He goes on to say, and because I
Ill
fall
nigga.
short of what I am all about, and just imagine he said a whole lot of things, what he's gonna do, can do, and all that. He fell short. Okay. Your eyes leave
Yeah.
with the soul that your body once housed. She's disappointed. She's disappointed. I'm not looking at the chat. Let me look and see what y'all.
No, you ain't got to. Whoo, he laid it on thick.
Let me see, Dante. Oh, stop it, Dante's.
If I'd have known this song was around when I was getting the divorce, I might still be married.
Okay. And you stare blankly into space, thinking of all the time you wasted in on this basic shit. So I apologize. And that is something that normally women do. They look at the time that they invested or was with a guy. Um, and they, when they're really disappointed and they're like, dang, if I knew this, I would have left maybe 2 years ago or whatever it is. Where are you at in this, Ruby? Are you okay? Because I know you back there thinking of something. What you thinking?
Well, no, first what I had to do is I had to mute myself to behave myself about the Princella Park situation. So that was the first thing I had to do. And then after I had calmed down a little bit, I realized that my phone was at like 6%. and it hadn't been charging. And I didn't notice because I was so busy trying to take Princella Clark down single-handedly in this one stream. Like I was, yeah. So I had to fix that situation, but I'm good now. We're recovering. When it's it's a process. I'm working on it. Yeah.
All right.
No.
I'm glad to hear that.
I guess I've been cheated in life. I've never felt this way.
You're terrible.
And me, I'm saying the same thing too. I'm thinking to myself, could I write a letter like that? No, that's telling too much. You give them too much information out, Bo. She can use that against you later on. Women don't forget nothing, and if you put it in the song, just think about this. Every time he get in the car and she decide to put it on, click. What you mad at? Click.
Well,
Nah. See, here's the thing though. Like you said, women don't forget anything. Yes, that's true. But remember something else, right? Is that depending on how badly it is that you screwed up, this is nothing. This letter is like barely a drop in the bucket versus all the discussion and all of the admonitions and all of the everything that already has had to happen for you to be at a place where that woman has decided not only is she not going to ruin your entire life in every way humanly possible, but she's going to stay with you too. And so we have to realize that at that point, probably especially someone like her, especially with all the PR teams and this, like we have to think about, they're not the same as us. They're not normal people. They're not the same as us. They cannot have the same kind of private secrets and whatever that we have to that extent. They can't. They have to, once, especially once you get exposed, you have to start coming out with stuff. You have to, because both PR teams for both people need to be really aware. They need to be scheduling and planning and this and that and da. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have those same kinds of secrets, unfortunately. And then you don't get to react the way normal people would when something that explosive comes out. You know what I mean? You have to just swallow it and keep smiling in public like your whole world didn't just explode in front of you, right? So I think it's different. I'm like, this is like the least you could do. You know, like you said, yeah, once the elevator closed, then you got the sister beating your ass, right? But I mean, like, that goes to show you how much they have to restrain themselves. That was like the first possible moment in who knows how long that she had to be able to lose her mind for a second and just beat that man because, you deserve a punch in the face, bro, for what you did to my sister. You know what I mean? Like,
she went out like a punk in that damn elevator.
oh, maybe you can't look at that as maturity. I'm not gonna hit her back. I'm gonna let that ride. Everybody watching us.
Hell no.
No.
Okay.
No, here's the thing. You take a beating if you think you deserve it. And this is what I said about when I first saw the chick, what's her name? I keep messing up her name because it's so different for me. But anyway, the chick who just got murdered in Mexico by her friends. But when they showed the video of her, she's naked in the hotel room, and then her friend starts punching. It's like first there's like a pause, and then she goes like, okay, and then the friend starts coming at her, beating her, right? And then the dude who's filming goes, yo, can't you at least pull out, whatever name? Yeah, fight back. And she said no. And she just kept taking it. And I'm like, oh, so she did something. That was my very first response to the story was, oh, she did something, right? And it was like, everyone's like, how could you say that? The girl was naked. I'm like, because you're not going to stand there hands down and just take a beating unless you think you deserve it, right? It's only when you feel an extreme amount of guilt, you feel like you are very much in the wrong, you feel like you deserve to be punished, and you feel like the person who's punishing you deserves to punish you, that you will just stand there and let them beat the crap out of you. And then the fact that the friend was then saying, yo, man, just get up, man, get up, because I'm tired of you, da-da-da. That's how the video ended. It's like, okay, again, for her to be like, no, you need to get up, right? Like, again, you feel like this person's got to stand up and face this, right? So everyone feels like someone did someone wrong. If you're going to stand there and take a beating, just take it. Not even defend yourself. It's because you very much think you deserve it. That's just what it is.
Well, I don't know anything about that and that particular situation with the young lady.
Yeah,
That's really a terrible thing that has happened.
It's
Hope
still
they get.
unfolding too. That
It
story.
is, yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
is terrible.
There's a
It
lot.
really
There's
is.
more videos, and there's some other things, and there are certain reasons why they say she didn't,
Right.
fight back.
But
And I don't
again,
want to go into that because that's a whole nother
yeah,
video. But
Yeah,
there
it's
yeah,
a whole
is
different thing, but
it's a layer upon layers that happen with that girl. But I understand what you're saying. Typically I would say that's true, maybe, but not in this case. I think there's some other factors.
Yeah.
I think this is the thing. A lot of people, because again, this was before I knew any of the story. I'm like, it didn't really change my opinion though. She still thought she deserved the beating. Now, here's the problem: is that so? For example, you have people who think they deserve the beating because okay, you see it. There's a few high school movies or TV shows that show this trope where it's like someone who's so desperate to be popular, right? And then they do like a really small thing. And us watching, we can go, oh, wow, those are evil, mean girls. They're just going to be mean, right? But the girl who's desperate to be popular, desperate to be on the inside of the in crowd, right? She doesn't see herself as a pathetic little tag-along that they're abusing whenever they feel like it, right? She sees herself as she's finally almost made it in, right? But then she screwed up this little faux pas, and so she deserves to be penalized, right? Now, does she actually know? Right? Do the friends really think she deserves to be penalized? No, they're just taking out their aggressions on her. But the point is, it's about the perception. The perception of why would you not put up your hands and defend yourself? Not even fight back, but just defend yourself. Cover your face. Cover yourself to ball up. It's like, no, you think you deserve the beating. Do you know that? Otherwise, you would defend yourself. She's not willing to defend herself. She actually literally said, no, I will not. Right? So I'm not saying that it's like she slept with. Originally, I was. That's what it seemed like to me without like looking any further into it. I'm not saying like, oh, you slept with someone like the Jay-Z situation, right? But I'm just saying in the Jay-Z situation, yeah, that's what it is. You're a dirty whore and now you've ruined everything. But that was enough for him to say, yes, I deserve this beating, right? But for a girl who's insecure, she's younger, she's insecure, she's desperate to be accepted and whatever, you can get her to think that she deserves a lot of things she doesn't deserve. You really can. And it's really sad. Like girl world is a different place to be. I'm so glad. I would never go back to being a teenage girl, not ever in my life.
Yeah, teenage, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything over that, I wouldn't think so.
can I just give me just say something briefly on that? I think just based on from the video that I saw of it, seems to me that these folks have fought before. Because the guys were too ready to pull out the cameras. The ladies were too willing to engage in mortal combat. So I think it's just something I don't, of course, a tragedy would happen, but if you whether you agree or disagree with Ruby, who takes a beating like that? One thing I do know about either taking a beating or issuing a beating, when you're hitting someone and it doesn't seem to have an effect on them, you start hitting harder.
That's true. Yep. Because you're looking for the reaction, right? That's why you're swinging. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So let's see. He has, I apologize. Our love was one for the ages, and I contained us. And all this ratchet shit, and we more expensive now. All right.
Translation. Listen here. We got a whole lot of money.
Yep.
I'm not gonna let these chicks come around here. That side chick, she gonna try and come after the money. I'm gonna pay her off, and we gonna live happily ever after. Okay.
Meant to cry and die alone in these mansions, or sleep with our backs turned. We're supposed to vacate till our backs burned. That's a life.
Yeah.
Damn all that nonsense. I'll just go out to the damn doghouse. Man, damn all that simp talk.
Oh, stop it. That's simp talk.
He should have did what I did. Just wait till you're like 35, 36, 37 to get married, man.
Yeah, that's a good time. We're supposed to laugh till our hearts stop, and then we in a space with a dark stop, and let love light the way. Oh.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Shit.
Like the men before me, I cut off my nose to spite my face. I never wanted another woman to know something about me that you didn't. Ooh-wee, that wouldn't be
He,
nice.
he was listening to Parliament Funkadelic. Why cut your nose to spite your face? Yeah, that sounds good. Let me put that in there.
But something about me that you didn't know. You don't want that. That's not a good thing. Can you imagine that? Some woman calling your house. May I speak to Joe? Who is this? I'm his girlfriend. Well, I'm his wife. What you talk? Who are you? I don't know who you are. I'm his girlfriend. I hear that you don't do blah 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 blah. What? He told you that? But let me continue on. I promise I cried. I couldn't hold. I suck at love. I think I need a do-over. Yeah, that's not going to help you, son. You're in trouble. I will be emotionally I will be emotionally available if I invite you over. I stew over what if you over my sheet. So you don't even know if you would actually let her come over and you would invite her over. You say you're going to be emotionally available if I invite you over, but you stew over if she's over. Okay.
Translation. I know you're mad. Can you come over here anyway so I can talk to you? I know you're tired of my shit.
Then he goes on to say the chorus, never going to treat you like I should. And oh shoot. Uh-oh. And if my children knew, I don't even know what I'd do if they ain't look at me the same. Yeah, I know that would break your heart.
Don't tell the kids that Daddy messed up, all right?
I would
Just say I'm on vacation.
I would probably die with all the shame. You did what with who?
Translation. Don't get my coochie right. Keep it tight, all right?
What's good is a mirage a trois?
Menage a trois.
Yeah.
Threesome.
Right. When you have a soulmate, you risk that for Blue, which is his child's name. If I wasn't a superhero in your face.
The fuck?
You know, the kids think they're
Is he saying he had a menage a trois?
Yes, thank you. I'm
I'm like looking at the evidence. Like, what?
Right. This is one hell of a love letter, ain't it? Yeah, baby. I had a menage a trois while he was carrying baby Blue.
I'm sorry.
What good
I'm
was
sorry.
it though?
It wasn't no good. I did it, but it wasn't no good.
Wasn't that good? So I'm coming back to you. That's a hell of a thing.
Dang. My heart breaks for the day I had to explain my mistakes and the mask goes away and Santa Claus is fake.
It's around Christmas time he fucked up.
It's always the holiday. Always the holidays. Why is that? And you go online and see the blues tooth.
It's the season of giving.
Pay. Why is that? It's always holidays.
Because it's the season of giving. Giving thanks. Giving Christmas presents.
No, see, I don't think it's that everyone's messing up around the holidays. It's just when everyone gets caught.
Okay.
Right. So
I'll take that.
Yeah, because some people don't want to be home for the holidays by themselves. They get mad, men or women. I'm tired of not being around you for Christmas. You told me you was going to spend last Thanksgiving with me.
Yep. Right. You're sad. Right. All of a sudden, you didn't know because this is how that love of my life guy I was talking about earlier. That's how he got caught. See, because he's an idiot. So he should have known this because this shit was totally psycho. She already broke up his previous relationship, like before me, right? So I'm like, why would you start sleeping? If you're gonna continue being a serial cheater, that's cool. But why sleep with her? Are you stupid or something? But he is stupid. And so he did keep sleeping with her. And so, hey, guess what? One time when I called and or texted him and he was at her house, which is like several hours away from where we live, by the way. And anyway, she saw the number, remembered the number. Then while he was busy texting me and whatever, she went to the bathroom, aka ran to her room and wrote down my phone number and then just put it away. So that way, you know, a couple years later, whenever she needed it, she had it so she could call me and let me know. And that's what she did. She waited till he broke up with her and said, listen, I don't want to cheat on you anymore. Relationship counseling is going really well. I think I want to marry her. I don't want to cheat anymore. So yeah, I'm not going to sleep with you or anyone anymore. And she said, okay, well, that really hurts my feelings, but okay, I get it. And then within like 2 hours, not even, she waited because she knew what time he would pick me up from the go bus. And so she waited until about 15 minutes after that and then called me to tell me. Not to he was like, I mean, like that is literally what like chicks do, right? And so they hold these things in their pocket until you hurt their feelings, till they feel neglected, until whatever. And the easiest time would be around Christmas time, especially because that's when everyone wants to feel special, saving all my love for you and da-da-da-da-da, right? So, yeah, sure, I'm sure some people do mess up around Christmas because there's, you know, Christmas parties, a lot of drinking, da-da-da, stress, whatever. But I think it's just mostly people are getting caught around the holidays because they've been cheating the whole time. But then now, guess what? You're getting your comeuppance today. Sorry about it. You should have told the chick you loved her and bought her a ring or something, or a bracelet or flowers or some crap. That was on you, really. You should have tried harder.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of babies born in August.
I was born in August.
Mm-hmm. You get it, Ruby?
I do. That is so funny.
It ain't too bad a season if you ask me.
Right? And me and my godbrother are born 3 days apart. So because my mom and her best friend, both in high school at the same grade, right? Both got pregnant. She actually got pregnant I think earlier than my mom did, because I was actually due in like the end of September. I was early. But they got pregnant like at high school around the same time. So it would have been around that holiday season, right? And then me and my godbrother were born like 3 days apart. He's July 28th and I'm August 2nd. So
you know what, Ruby?
I guess we were both mistress babies.
You would come early. You would come early. Your mom probably had just, okay, this baby's gonna be born in September. Oh no, not Ruby. I'm coming now. It's August. I'm here. Damn it.
It wasn't my fault. I was apparently killing my mother. So she was on bed rest for a lot of the pregnancy. And then they induced once I was at like a safe enough weight. So I didn't actually kill her. That's what happened there. So I was supposed to be born September 20th. I was born August 2nd in 1984. Like, think about the technology then. And I was 6 pounds, 6 ounces already. So
that's a big baby.
I know.
Pretty good sized baby to be preemie.
To be that premature in 1984, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should see my 1-month-old pictures. My rolls have rolls. I was so fat that they were putting Pablum, like the baby cereal, to thicken my milk. Like, couldn't breastfeed me because I would suck my mom dry and then scream. I was the fattest baby on earth. Like, I'm surprised I'm not 1,000,000 pounds. I was. See, it's the greed. That's what it is. I think some people are just greedy. Jay-Z is greedy. Think about that. You have Beyonce. And you have Beyonce and Jay-Z money. And that's not good enough for you? Like, that's just greed. That's just greed. That's what it is.
Hey, she became average, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. See that? Some folks say Beyonce ain't but a couple sandwiches away from being, you know. That's what a few of them say. But hey.
Well, I thank you all for tuning in tonight. And thank you for enjoying the content. Take what you want from it. Leave what you don't want. That's what I always say.
Yes, Shard. Yes, Shard, indeed.
Yeah, and I just, as I said, Chaos. They're dealing with the pasty lady now, and you can look for her on every thumbnail this summer. That's what I got to say about that. But
You mean the lady that's looked like she was a reject from Save the Last Dance?
not even that. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Not
But
even that.
I mean, she put on too much makeup, I guess.
I don't know, but
Milk's going dry.
that's what's about to happen.
Oh, I think I know you're talking about that 20-some-year-old chick. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Come pick and say what is it? Oh, that hurt. Yeah.
Yeah,
Trust
Paige,
me.
Pearl is all the same. So
Yeah.
that's who's going to replace it. That's just how it is, and I'll talk more about that on my New Year's show. And we'll talk a little bit about what we've seen over the year and over the
Okay.
years. So this will be a hot show. I got my champagne already. I used my gift cards. That $60 bottle of champagne. So I'm ready.
All right.
Hope you take a picture of the
Very nice.
champagne, and this is what I'm drinking tonight.
All right. So you guys be safe out there. Have a safe holiday. And we'll be back in December. I think we're not doing a show the 2nd, but we're doing a show that following week, the 9th, I think it is.
Okay.
But check the community tab. It will tell you. It will remind you. And
make sure your subscriber is high. Hit the top bell. Always top bell helps.
yeah, it does. It does. And until we meet again, everyone, stay safe and peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Out, family.
Peace out.